Gathering mushrooms, mining ore, fishing, slaying giant dragons made of rock. Whether or not this sounds familiar depends heavily on your experience with the Monster Hunter series thus far, but suffice to say, with Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, thwacking huge beasts with a greatsword or picking them off from afar with a bow has never been so entertaining, satisfying, and accessible. At the heart of Monster Hunter lie the monsters themselves, and it's those encounters, those epic battles of man versus mythical beast, that are at the centre of Monster Hunter. Nearly 3 years on, and the monsters of this imaginary world are no less intimidating and no less menacing when threatened. Sure, you still start off being sent out against herbivores or to gather mushrooms and resources, but as soon as you get into the fray proper, things really start to kick off. The new lick of paint thanks to the HD upgrade in the Wii U version pays off too. The game's not quite up there with current gen visuals, but it's crisp and sharp, and the monsters look superb. One of the most welcome things about the Wii U outing is the improvement in accessibility. You can use the Pro controller or the Wii's classic controller, but the gamepad really shines here. The screen offers additional buttons and functions, all of which can be customised. If you want the map on the gamepad instead of on screen, it can be done. Targeting, camera controls, item management and certain attack controls can all be mapped to the touchscreen interface and moved about to suit you. It's not long before you begin farming Royal Ludroths or Lagombis to build or improve weapons and armour. And it's this collectible aspect of Monster Hunter that remains as addictive as it's always been. There's more on offer in Tri 2, with a bunch of new monsters added, as well as a load of new quests, thus leading to new weapons, armour and items as well. For a game so focused on grinding and fighting the same creatures over and over again, it does a remarkable job of keeping things fresh. Battles rarely play out the same, whether you're tackling a variety of different beasts or simply taking on the same one repeatedly. Each beast has its own strengths, weaknesses and special characteristics, and even if you fought the same monster multiple times, it's still capable of surprising you by varying its attack patterns and catching you unawares. The vast scope of weapon types and armour provides plenty of content as well. Mastering one weapon feels like a game in itself, and the difference between using, say, greatswords or dual blades results in a huge variety in how you approach combat. Perhaps the most welcome aspect of Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate is the overhaul of its online systems, which are far simpler and easier to use than before. The online quests themselves, which can also be played locally, including with players on 3DS, are a diverse affair. Some take the form of quests from the main game, others exist as arena-based challenges, granting you specific armour and equipment. Some of them require you to take on multiple beasts at once, and rising up the hunter ranks allows you to hunt increasingly more difficult quarry. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate isn't an entirely new game. Players who sank hundreds of hours into Tri are going to find the vast majority of the content familiar, but given the nature of Monster Hunter, this isn't necessarily a problem. The extra quests, maps, collectibles and better online functionality more than compensate for any familiar moments. It's easily the best Monster Hunter game so far. While it would be nice to see a sequel with more up-to-date visuals and all new locations, Ultimate is still a great entry into the Monster Hunter series.